working extremely well. And then moving over to Potemkin, we saw a lot of that slide head coming out. And as a result of that, it's like, cool, that 6A smash or 6P mash will be able to keep him out for a little bit longer. It'll true to that super armor, and it makes it really hard to get into a position where you're comfortable for getting that command grab. And we also saw that Speech was not afraid to do a DP on Wake Up as well. So we saw a lot of that. Even if you did get into command grab space, Surge was wailing to bed at all because they were goofing and profiling the entire time. That, look, taunting, doing a respect, doing your explosion super like that, excellent. 10 out of 10, and that's the kind of entertainment that I like to see at Beast in the East 8. So we're taking some time here to get our next match going here. We have some matches going off stream, so we're going to be getting through this and everything like that. So please wait warmly while we get the next match up here. But Beast in the East 8 has been a really good time. For me personally, I'm in an intersection between I really enjoy rhythm games, most specifically Pump It Up, and they have a huge tournament for that over on the other side of the room. And then on this side of the room here, we have all the fighting games and the streams for that and everything. So if you find yourself at an intersection of both, maybe you want to play DDR, you want to watch more tournaments, maybe you're more on the rhythm game side. You're like, I like to watch tournaments when I have a little bit of free time. You can just look, you can just turn backwards and watch the big screens that are across the room. It's a really cool event to be at. And so something that I might be able to look into next year for Beast in the East 9, if that sounds of any interest to you, because we would love to have you here. But it's been a really good weekend, and I definitely plan to make it next year. So hopefully y'all at home are like, okay, maybe I'm a little bit local, maybe I can drive in. It'll be a good time. Not as busy or hectic as some of those major tournaments as well. So it's a very good space to be. All right, we're getting our next matches up here. And one of the players already looking at me with high concern right now. We do have Coco Jam popping up with the Axel. I did get some warm-up matches with Coco Jam a little bit earlier today, just to kind of get his Axel warmed up because he does play multiple Guilty Gears. So just to kind of, you know, realign himself with what plus R does and make sure he's able to get his confirms there, make sure that he understands how his combos work depending on the different weights of the characters in the game. Seem to be doing pretty all right with a few, you know, getting some more setups, getting more use of the frame data and everything like that. So seems to be pretty ready and primed to do pretty well in this tournament here. So they're getting their buttons set up. All right, so you see the Axel on the screen right now. So I'll be very curious to see how this goes as well, because if that is Dizzy on screen, I believe she is a super light character, and that was some of the concern that Coco Jam was having a little bit earlier when I was talking with him about that light character and getting those specific confirms for them. I don't know if he got an opportunity to warm that up or not, but I guess we'll see here. No, it's Justice. I believe this is heavily Axel favored, but it depends on how you play the matchup overall. And at least from Coco Jam's side, and I'm telling the story of Coco Jam just because I do know the state of North Carolina a lot better. Apologizing like, no, I'm goofing, I'm sorry. I'm on stream, I'm nervous. Giving apologies before anything starts. You know, we like to have some goofy times out here. All right, now we are set up for the appropriate colors here. We're ready to go. But we do have also good Justice players in the state as well with Vulture and some other players as well. So it's like, yeah, it might be a little bit of a thing that's like, okay, Coco Jam does have some experience in this matchup, all things considered. Nice air throw. So let's see if G-Viper is able to keep up or not. Oh, clash with the Michael Sword because of that extended hurt box. It is Axel who's going to be getting punched at the end there with the double hit. And nice confirm here from G-Viper. All right, throwing it up an up nuke to get that little bit of meaty on Wake Up. That was pretty nice positioning. But the burst from Coco Jam. All right, a nice jump in there. Using dash through. Now has the corner. It's going to be really hard for Coco Jam. Does have a lot of meter if they wanted to push Justice out at all, but that will not happen there. Does get the low, breaking those ankles. G-Viper goes out the first round. All right, jumping into it to try to explode it a little bit earlier. All right, moving to position there. Tries to go for an attack instead of faultless defensing. All right, there we go. Using the counter there. Now earning the corner off this, but good defense from G-Viper and reads the counter replay as well, getting that low in there. As a reminder, Axel does have two versions of counters here in plus R, a high version, high mid version, and a low version. So G-Viper reacting appropriately to the Simon Says game. Ooh, okay. Now we're on the corner here, and yo, the 5D, let's go. Burst it out immediately because, yeah, you don't have any life to play around with left, but yeah, Once again, the Michael Sword coming out there. G-Viper is in good position so far. So Coco Jam has been trying to get in as much as possible throughout those nukes and not really trying to counter-poke them as much as trying to just close the distance. It seems to be kind of back, playing back against them a little bit, just in bits and pieces here. And my God, a counter into the corner there because that will capture from anywhere. It's like there's a case in point here. It's like, okay, what do? Do you try to go in after that, or do you kind of stay there and try to wait for the block? And the positioning from G-Viper around everything else has been going very, very strongly. And yeah, trying to just anti-air from there. See if they can hit Justice along the way. Oh, tries to go for the throw, but the rare tech. A unicorn gets its horn. And G-Viper is just playing so patient. I'm really, really legitimately impressed here. Not feeling too much pressure from Coco Jam here. To the skies! Uses the RC. Actually gets the low afterwards. And a counter hit. Gets a full confirm off of that with the Renson. All right, good confirm here. Takes it to the air, almost into the nuke, avoids it, but the nuke just slowly crawls its way in and getting an explosion on Axel. Now G-Viper on match point. Oh my gosh, the Michael Sword actually hitting the extended hurt box of Axel. And now Coco Jam once again finds themselves in the corner here. Good FRC, but the throw goes on Coco's side. Not getting confirm off of that. Unfortunately, really needs that in this situation because the more that you let Justice get away and move around a lot more, you can't really lock her down. She has a lot of movement options that makes Axel overcommit. While the position you could do is really good. Once again, you saw that committal of the 6H there. Makes it a little bit harder. But now there is meter to speak of. Let's see what Coco Jam does with it. Jumps right into the Michael Sword. Unfortunately, no false defense. All right, can't reach from there. And uses the upswing of the sickle again, but G-Viper keeping the distance there and gets the confirm off the nuke. That will be G-Viper 2-0 against Coco. All right, we're signal for G-Viper to stay on stage and as we fetch the next opponent here. And that, so I might have been wrong earlier, just a little bit, about the potential matches spread on that one. I feel like I've heard that before, but maybe just might be over the course of time, things have changed. Not a matchup I see very often, quite honestly, but it was kind of nice and enlightening to see how Axel is supposed to interact with stuff. I kind of undersold the hurt boxes and hitbox interaction from the nukes that I was going to see. I thought maybe you could reach out a little bit further, a little bit more safely into the Michael Sword situation, but it does seem to stop Axel a lot more than I would have personally imagined. So a lot of learning going on out here, and still good stuff from G-Viper, really showing the mastery of that matchup, staying in the right positions, doing a lot of baiting as well, and making sure that those extended hitboxes land into the hitboxes of Justice that entire time, and delivering swift justice right back to Coco. So I'm looking out into the field here, seeing who is coming up next. All right, we're pointing to the ramp here. We're going to be getting our next opponent. And hopefully you all at home have been enjoying the matches so far. Plus R is a fast game. So if you have anyone out there who might be interested in some Plus R matches or want to see what's going on over in Virginia in terms of community, gameplay, and whatnot, let them know that this is out there. Let them know they have a community that they can play with. Let them know to find their locals. These are all good things that should be done within the fighting community. Ultimately, we're a grassroots effort. So it's a lot by word of mouth. It's a lot by the community efforts. It's a lot by just letting a friend know or inviting a friend to an event so that they realize, oh, I do enjoy this, or I had a good time. So I will liken this with good, good emotions. I'm going to do more of this. So hopefully in all this time here, maybe one of y'all will tell someone, say, hey, come watch this. It's a pretty cool thing. And then maybe we can go next year, and that'd be a really good time. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. And then hopefully we see more of all y'all rolling on through here. All right, so we're getting plugged in on the other side. All right. G-Viper should be plenty set up, but they might do a quick button check before they get started here. Hearing those buttons going off. Excellent. All right. They're giving a thumbs up. I mean, yeah. Go for it, fam. You got this. All right. RoboKai returns. Even the same color, as a matter of fact, as we saw earlier. I love that. All right. So we got G-Viper return to the scene here. Let's see how they handle the RoboKai energy versus Rain Dog. And Rain Dog immediately dashing under here, has the corner. Let's see how they chase down their anti-air missile. That will not have a hurt box being caught up in the Michael Sword that is done from the air. But G-Viper doing a good confirm here. Nukes are on the screen here. Brain Dog feels a little bit locked down, not trying to do anything too wild, just gonna block it. But that makes that risk gauge cranked up, and maybe G-Viper didn't realize it because, yeah, that counter hit version of the Michael Sword forces ground slide, so you can actually confirm off that if you so desire, but that will do it. Oh no, not enough guts, per se. Maybe too many guts. I thought that was going to be a guts crush finisher right there, but falls a little bit short, but a simple nuke will set it up there for G-Viper, taking the first round against Brain Dog. All right, trying to navigate this literal field of Minesweeper right now. Brain Dog has not found an answer quite yet. Unfortunately, patience is not the answer. You just have to know how to navigate the nukes. All right, good block here. Can we get in for long enough? But, oh, the boy chop overhead. Oh, that was supposed to be a cross-up setup there, but good throw from Brain Dog once the distance was closed and gets pushed right back in. And it's just hard when you don't know how to navigate these whatsoever. Now that we're in chip damage range, yeah, you just kind of have to accept that. You have to make a move, you have to make a guess, see if you can prevent them from moving in, or maybe a mix-up that might be coming. We saw 2S roll off to the field there, but unfortunately does not pay off. 6P to start off here. Oh my gosh, okay, I thought that third nuke was going to hit as well. I'm like, I have not seen a triple nuke combo without an RC ever. So maybe I was going to see something new. All right, good knockdown. But a better backdash from G-Viper, understanding that the 2S meaty would keep them locked down, so they were able to escape. Now, missile on missile gameplay, and that is a pretty good option from RoboKai. Puts more projectiles onto the field, and forces Justice as a character to just kind of like reconsider the positioning, have to block for a little bit longer. The more time that you can prevent Justice from throwing out nukes onto the field, the more field control that you will get over time. So you really have to be able to invest in those feature stonks, basically. All right, 2H missile goes wide. Oh my god, that didn't even touch the counter. Ref, guard. Oh my god. I disagree, video game, but I'm sure G-Viper will agree all the time. Now on match point in his winter semifinals. All right, good false defense there, really minimizing the damage, and actually has a life lead here. Good command throw as well from Brain Dog, activating that brain, and has that dog in them as well, but unfortunately, the counter comes back out again here, takes the corner. Now, the patience defense that we saw from Brain Dog earlier during the nukes is going to pay off here. But unfortunately, G-Viper is able to get out of corner there, so now there's a little bit more guesswork to be done in terms of movement, and that risk gauge is high, and oh my gosh, that hits on the counter hit. I don't believe you get any extra properties from the super there on the Super Michael Sword, but nonetheless, it's looking very hard for Brain Dog. What do you do here in this situation? Where do you go when nukes are coming your way? You ain't no missile commander right now. You can't use those anti-air missiles to get away. Hopefully they pulse the fist, and hopefully they have enough, barely enough, but uses the Michael Sword to push back full screen, tries to run in, and it doesn't work, unfortunately for Brain Dog there. But G-Viper does take it 2-0 against Brain Dog, and that will be moving on into winners finals, who we're going to see a little bit later. But still, good stuff to G-Viper, showing a good awareness of the options of RoboKai, getting caught off guard every now and then with like some of the missiles and the positioning and stuff like that. And on Brain Dog's side of things, a lot more of that missile control that can be done and thrown into the field, throwing more garbage to the field that forces Justice to block, means more time that nukes are not being thrown into the field. Unfortunately about Justice is the curse of, well, you want to be far away so you don't get hit by the nukes, but the more time that you give her to throw those nukes is less time that you can even move around the field anyway as they start filling everything up. So you really have to navigate, understand, and be able to smooth through the field as best as you possibly can to prevent those missiles from coming out, those nukes from coming out. And there are some higher heat options that are pretty good for RoboKai. And so if Brain Dog, you go back and you watch this and whatnot, you're like, okay, what could have actually been done? I think the patience and defense was really good. You just have to mix that up with the options.